Habibi, listen. You've achieved things you've only once dreamed of. You've crossed milestones that your past self would have celebrated. And yet, something still feels missing, doesn't it? That nagging feeling like you should be doing more, like no accomplishment ever really satisfies you. Why does it never go away? You're not alone. There's a psychological explanation behind that. Psychologists describe something called the hedonic adaptation, or the hedonic treadmill. The idea that no matter how much our external circumstances improve, we eventually return to a baseline level of happiness. This is why some people, after winning a lottery, for example, or getting a new car or something new happens, they feel happy for some time, but then they go back to their baseline just before that event happened. Our brains are wired in a way to seek novelty, which means new achievements lose their impact quickly. Think about the last time you bought something that you really wanted, like a new phone or a fancy notebook or a dress. You felt so excited to get it, but few days or weeks after achieving that, you start to feel bored again, and as if you didn't get it in the first place. So you move to the next thing. This endless cycle keeps us constantly chasing after things, one thing after the other, and not achieving rest. That was the first explanation. I will go back to that part with a solution later on in that video. But now, let's talk about the second reason why you never feel enough. This hunger isn't only psychological. It is also spiritual. For thousands of years, philosophers, theologians, poets, all have asked this golden question. Why do humans long for more, even when they have enough? To answer that, I will refer to a quote by St. Augustine, one of the greatest thinkers of all time. And he says, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you." Maybe this is why you never feel enough. Maybe this is why nothing really fills that void. No money, no luxury car, no relationship, not even, a very high position can fill that void. Maybe because us humans are partly spiritual, and that void is not a materialistic one, but a spiritual one. That by far does not mean that ambition is wrong. On the contrary, it just means that we need to redefine what we're focusing on. I'm sure you've been reading a lot about dopamine. Dopamine is this chemical released by our brain. It gives us this nice feeling, but the problem is that nowadays with the social media and everything in our society, we are being hijacked. Our dopamine system is being overused and overstimulated in a way that we always seek dopamine. We became addicted to it. So nothing really feels enough. You always feel that you want to re-stimulate that system again and again and again, and no big achievement is big enough. Let's say you hit a milestone, your dopamine goes up, but then it starts to fade away again, and that drop is somehow dry, or it's not a very nice feeling. So because you're used to a high level of dopamine, you search how you want to increase it again, seeking the next big success, the next big achievement, the next thing that will finally make you happy, if ever. But here's the shocking truth. We're not addicted to pleasure, we're addicted to the pursuit of pleasure. There's a difference. This is why, as soon as we get what we want, we instantly move the goalpost to something different. And how to stop that, I will talk about that in a few minutes. Be honest, have you ever thought about that? If only I had X, I would then become happy. If only I had more money, or if only I had this degree, or if only I had that or this person as a companion, life companion, or a partner, then I would be happy. But the painful truth is, even if you get this, you're gonna still feel empty and not that happy. You'd still feel the same deep down. I'm not saying that these things will not make you happier, but they should not make you happy, which means they can increase your happiness 5, 10, 20%. But they are not the reason why you are happy. You should be happy. You should feel enough. You should be grateful. And these things, they can make an addition to your happiness, but they are not the reason why you're happy or you're not. Your happiness does not depend on them. Why? Because happiness is not a future destination. It's a skill we cultivate right now. And this is where spirituality, philosophy, writing, deep self-reflection come into play. Now, how to break the cycle and finally feel enough? I want you to focus on 3 things. This is a solution. Why? Because instead of always chasing something, a goal, or an X, a mark X, then you will start making a system to yourself. This is how you live. Day by day, you enjoy the journey, you enjoy your system, you enjoy your daily life. What's nice about systems is that they bring daily enjoyment and fulfillment. They don't wait till the end result. You love writing? Before becoming the author of some bestsellers, enjoy writing every day. Make it a habit. Enjoy it. This activity in itself will bring you some form of happiness. Not becoming the author of the next bestseller book, but the activity in itself is something that you should enjoy, and you can do it. Another example, are you passionate about learning? Just enjoy learning things. Focus on the discovery itself, not just passing an exam or a test or a certificate. Number 2, reframe how you measure success. This is a tricky one. Instead of getting success by external validation, you can shift your mind to have success from internal validation. Measure it by internal fulfillment. A small, well-written journal entry can be just as meaningful as a published book. A deep, meaningful conversation is just as valuable as gaining thousands of followers. And this is in fact what I do on my YouTube channel. I've been posting for 3 years with no big results, but the few people that interact with me, they reach out to me, we have some conversations. This is so fulfilling. Final number 3, I always go back to that, the power of field notes or handwritten notes. This is one of the most underrated tools of breaking the cycle of never feeling enough. Writing. Keeping field notes or small notebooks on your thoughts, emotions, and small daily experiences can help you see patterns in your thinking. Why? Because writing will force you to slow down. This is the important thing about it. It will force you to go inside your brain, and to slow down, take a moment just for yourself and do some deep reflection. It turns abstract feelings into something tangible. In that way, it will allow you to truly understand what matters the most. I will give you some examples of things that you can write as prompts. What are 3 small things that made me feel content today? What am I grateful for right now? What would I tell my past self about what truly matters? Trust me, you don't have to chase the next thing to prove your worth. You don't have to finish everything to make it valuable. And even you don't have to fix this feeling of never feeling enough. Just be true to your feelings, to your emotions, to yourself. In conclusion, maybe you already have what you need to be happy. Don't listen to the world that's always trying to make you feel less. The next time you feel like nothing is enough, pause, reflect, and remember, maybe you already have whatever you need.